Girl, stop being dramatic. What's up, little enzymes? Welcome back to Daisha's Digest. The topic of today's video is FOMO. FOMO is an acronym that means fear of missing out, if you don't know. So these stories are gonna kind of be like people getting left out, pretty much. Before we get started, just a reminder that everything you see or hear in this video will be linked in the description. And if you enjoy vlogs, I do have a vlog channel that I will start posting on there again sometime soon. So make sure you check that out if you would like. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's free. We're on the road to 10K for the month of September. So let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can get to 10,000 subscribers. And I think that's it. So let me just go ahead and get started. The first story was cross-posted to our subreddit. It is actually two of them were cross-posted. So the first one is gonna kind of be a warm-up. There isn't an update, but it sounded interesting. So it says, am I the a-hole for not telling my husband's family that I speak their language? My husband, Peter, 29 male, and I, 27 female, have been married for about 3 years. We have one child together, and I was pregnant with our second. I'm Western Canadian, while he is from Germany. We lived in Canada for a long time, but because of inflation, moving back to Germany seemed like a better option for us. We bought a nice house in Hanover, where Peter is from. The day after our flights to Germany, we all visited Peter's family. This was the second time I have seen them. The first was at our wedding. Oh wow, meeting the fam at the wedding is quite an experience. They greeted us and brought us inside of the house, fussing over my son. We had dinner, and soon we left the house wanting to settle into our new home. We visited Peter's family often for the next few months, but I had started to realize that they would sometimes speak about me in German. They would make rude comments on my hair and makeup, question my fashion choices, and overall were just very unkind to me. They also said mean things about my pregnant belly, which I was already insecure about. Oh, in front of your face? While you in the room? I mean, it's already wrong that they're doing it, but then just to blatantly do it in front of your face, thinking that you don't know what they're saying? I ended up talking to my husband about this. I told him that I didn't like the way they were treating me. I said that I hated how my every choice was judged. He told me that he would talk to his family. The next time that we went to his parents' house, there were no more mean comments. For about 3 months, it was like nothing ever happened. I gave birth to a perfect baby girl that we named Lilith. Peter's family was very upset when they heard the name. If you didn't know, Lilith means ghost or of the night. We didn't pick this name because of its meaning, but because it is a name that every girl in my family has had for many years. My middle name is Lilith, along with my mom's, my grandma's, and even my great-grandma's. For a while, I didn't visit my in-laws. I didn't want to hear them talk about how I shouldn't have named my daughter Lilith. But yesterday, we saw them again. It was my mother-in-law's birthday. As soon as we showed up, things started to go badly. Everybody wanted to hold Lilith, which made my mother-in-law upset because people weren't paying attention to her and made me overwhelmed. I didn't want people holding her. I was going through a pretty bad postpartum depression, and it was still pretty early to see people. I let people look at her but declined when anyone asked to hold her. During dinner, I heard my sister-in-law talking to my mother-in-law in German. I heard her complaining about how she couldn't hold my baby. My sister-in-law even had the audacity to call me, and I quote, an overweight, not pretty, hokey addict? What is hokey? I turned to my sister-in-law and mother-in-law and told them off in German. I basically said that I have always known what they have said about me, but calling me names was the last straw. I also mentioned how I have known German for almost my whole life. The table instantly blew up. People were yelling at me because apparently this was all my fault. I left with Peter and we haven't talked to them since. So, am I the a-hole? No. What? How are they turning this on you? I don't understand. So they can be rude and make mean comments and be disparaging because they think that you don't know what they're saying. But then when you want to clap back in their language, then it's still your fault somehow? What? The first comment says, not the a-hole. A-holes are never wrong. They remain a-holes by refusing to ever take ownership of their own words or actions, so they never have to change. They can be as judgmental and insulting as they want because they're right, and anyone who challenges them must be at fault. So of course it's your fault that they were insulting you. They couldn't possibly have been in the wrong. Sorry you married into a family of a-holes. Right. And then someone responded, imagine being angry that someone caught you for your BS and you have the audacity to be angry. Some things are just so unbelievable. Somebody said, not very demure, not at all mindful or cutesy. So another person says, I had something similar happen to me. My husband and his family are Nicaraguanese, while I'm like super white. Had absolutely no clue I spoke Spanish. Always surprise people. It's usually funny. But yeah, his family said super awful things about me, and when confronted, they doubled down. His dad said he was taught to speak his mind. Sure, pal, I met his dad, husband's grandfather, and this is BS, but whatever. I also live in California, so this actually happens a lot, where people will just be saying the rudest stuff because they think I don't understand till I clap back, and then it's all surprise Pikachu face. I don't know why, but people seem to be way more inclined to be a-holes if they don't think you can understand them. OP, you are not the a-hole, but your husband's family sure is. They thought they could get away with being rude, thinking that you didn't know the language. That's on them, because they would never have the cojones to say anything if they thought you knew. Right. Child, that's crazy. That's not like the main reason that I like to know languages, but it is interesting being able to know different languages and then hearing people like talk about people. And you'd be like, I can't understand everything that you're saying, but I know it's not good and you shouldn't be talking about them. All right, so let's go to the next story. So this says, I was once again left out of my daughter's birthday pictures and I'm done talking to my husband about it. Pretty much as the title says, my daughter turned 5 in the middle of last week, but yesterday we had her party. We had it at the local trampoline park since that's her favorite place right now, LOL. Because of my husband's work schedule, I did the majority of the planning. He did contribute financially, but I planned the theme, made the party reservation, ordered the cake, made the party favors, etc. My daughter is a huge daddy's girl, and thus he is the favorite parent. She's only 5, so I don't hold it against her by any means, but it definitely still hurts. For health reasons, I can't jump with my daughter, but my husband was. They both had a great time, and so did the other kids that were there. But just like previous years, I'm the one behind the camera. I take all the pictures every year, and I'm not in any of them. I've spoken to my husband about my feelings before, but all I get are empty promises of how he will do better. Last year, we rented a room at the local conference center for her party, and I asked my grandmother to take pictures of me and my husband holding our child while we sang happy birthday and cut the cake. Instead of pictures, she took a video. Once again, no pictures of me. Well, you can still get pictures from a video, literally just screenshot it. Honestly, a video is better because then you get to actually like watch what was going on, hear people's voices, hear the sounds and the singing and whatever, and then, like I said, you could just screenshot. So she says, once again, no pictures of me. Call me old-fashioned, but I like printing pictures for photo albums, and I can't exactly print off a video. So another year of no pictures. Girl, stop being dramatic. Screenshot the video and get you some pictures and print them out. She's starting to annoy me. Hold on. Let me reel it back so I'm not biased. But she is starting to annoy me. I'm not gonna lie. After yesterday's party, we decided to take her gifts home rather than open them at the party. The kids had a very limited time at the park, so rather than spend 20 minutes opening presents, we figured it would be better to take them home and open them there so the kids had more time to play. Even while opening presents, I was behind the camera. My husband didn't think once that I should be in any of them. Why would he be thinking about that? This is his daughter's birthday. His main concern is the daughter. Like, I understand her sentiment. I understand she feels as if she's been left out in the past, etc., etc. But if he's not the type of person who takes pictures, whoever was the type of person to take pictures, you might need to nudge him and remind him, hey, or you could say, oh, hey, so-and-so, can you take this picture of this? Or, hey, so-and-so, just give somebody the camera. You sitting here, woe is me. Oh, he didn't even think once that I should be in any of the pictures. Girl, tell him to take a picture. What? Open your mouth. I don't understand what. Oh, hey, sweetie, can you take this picture real quick? Oh, yeah. I feel like it's that easy and she's making it like a bigger deal than it needs to be. Yeah, you've discussed it with him, but when was that? 6 months ago? A year ago after the last birthday party? Have you spoke about it recently? Did you speak about it on the day of the party? Hey, honey, today, just remember, like, I do want to make sure I get some memories with her. Like, this is her 5th birthday. It really means a lot to me. If you could just make sure to try and get me in some of the pictures. Communicate. But you sitting over there, he didn't think to take any pictures of me. Of course not. He's watching his daughter open her birthday gifts on her birthday. He's not thinking about you and getting you a picture. Oh, man. By the end of the day, I was very upset, and I'll give my husband credit for knowing when I am. But then again, I wasn't really hiding it. I went to say goodnight to my daughter because I had to be up early the next day. He followed me to talk to me. He said, "What's wrong? What did I do?" I just looked at him and said, "It's what you didn't do for the 3rd year in a row." I'm sorry. Speak up. If you want something done, speak up. You literally sat through the entire party and you allowed that to happen to yourself. You didn't speak up at once at any point in the party. I do not feel sorry for you. I don't care. I do not feel sorry for you. She said, "I just went to the bedroom and he didn't follow me." I'm just done. I'm so sick of his empty promises of doing better. Besides little things like this, he's a good husband and an amazing father, but it genuinely feels like there are times when he doesn't think about me at all. And if anyone thinks, well, why don't you just ask him to take pictures? I shouldn't have to. I'd like to think that my husband would want pictures of me and our child together. That's your problem. You think that you shouldn't have to. Photos of you and your child together are important for you. Those are top of mind for you. Your husband obviously probably has other priorities in his mind. His priority is making sure that he is financially supportive to assist you and bringing this party together to have a great time with his family and being in the moment. He not thinking about no pictures. You are. So again, open your mouth. It's not that he doesn't care. It's just that that's not at top of his mind. That I shouldn't have to mentality. You too old to be acting like this. I don't even know how old you are, but you too old to be acting like this. Your husband cannot read your mind. You literally have to open your mouth and let him know what you want. She said the last picture I remember him taking of me and our daughter was in a restaurant on my 29th birthday, and I asked him to take it. Great, good. I'm so tired of this. At any time, I could get sick or be in an accident and pass, and the only pictures my daughter will have of me will be selfies I've taken, none of me on her birthdays or even holidays. Because of our crazy schedules, I won't see my husband again until next Sunday, unless he stays up all night to see me in the morning, which he sometimes does. Part of me wants to text him and lay it all out again, but the majority of my thoughts are just to give up on it. I told my husband for the 3rd year in a row, but it's probably been more than that. I don't recall seeing any pictures of me and her on her birthday or me even being in the background. I'm just so hurt and tired of it. Thanks for reading. I don't agree with her. I don't feel sorry for her. I'm the type of person who loves taking pictures. As I mentioned in a previous video, I'm always taking, I like in special events, I always bring a disposable or a Polaroid. I'm always making sure to get like memories and stuff for people. And if I want to make sure that I'm in the photos, I will ask people to take the photos because I understand that not everyone is a photo taker. Or if I want to make sure that I'm in footage, I will set up a tripod, put the camera where I want it, press record, go around to make sure that I'm in the footage, or pass someone. It's so easy. It literally takes 10 seconds or less to just say, hey, can you XYZ? And then you have a memory set in stone for the rest of time. But you don't want to do that. You want to have one sole conversation at some point in time and expect him to, oh, yeah, my wife wants me to take pictures. Come on now. Someone said, your feelings are valid, but you kind of cut off your nose to spite your face here. You should have insisted on some photos. Sure, you should not have to ask, but end result is no photos and you can't take that back. Someone responded, yeah, it truly sucks to have to outright ask for your partner to do something that you are already doing for them, but I've discussed this with my therapist before, and for things like this, sometimes that's the only way to actually get what you want is to be direct. If it was me, I'd stop my significant other during the party, hand him my phone, and directly tell him to take some photos of me and my child together. I totally get OP's frustration, but it's better she be direct and ask than miss out on any more photos with her child because her husband doesn't take the initiative. That's right. That's what I think. Someone else responded, yeah, personally, I can imagine myself getting so caught up in the excitement and totally forgetting to offer to take photos. But if my husband said, hey, babe, can you take over? I would be very happy that he reminded me. I would also ask others to take photos so that we'd have family pictures. Exactly. And then another person, wishing and hoping for OP's husband to pick up on this photo problem hasn't worked for 3 years. I agree that being proactive and handing an iPhone off to someone, anyone, to take family pictures is the best approach. Maybe OP's husband doesn't like taking pictures, but it seems like OP does. OP likes creating memories, and it seems like the easiest solution is to speak up and ask for husband or other people to document events. Thank gosh, there's some reason in this comment section. Then someone else, but she didn't ask in the moment, and you have a 5-year-old and a trampoline park and cake and gifts and basically utter chaos. Husband is living in the moment and had a ton of other things on his mind. She is the adult too and needs to advocate for herself. There's nothing wrong with asking for stuff. There's nothing wrong with telling someone what you want for your birthday or Christmas or where you want to go eat or how you'd like to be treated. We need to use our words more. Sure, it would be great if he remembered, but she chose not to say anything, and now there's going to be resentment for a week over a birthday party that a kid had a great time at. So far, I'm seeing that everyone has the same sentiment as me. So let me go to her update. She said, update, thank you to everyone who read and commented on my post. There were a lot of supportive comments and some harsh ones, but I appreciate them all as there were many who made some great points. Before I dive into the update, there are some comments that were made that I want to address. Many pointed out that my husband is probably just someone who wants to live in the moment, and I 100% agree. The biggest reason I was hurt was because of how many times I have spoken to him about my feelings and his constant promises to do better. However, like many said, he probably just doesn't think about it at the time. I don't think he does it on purpose or doesn't do it out of spite. He's probably having too much fun with our daughter and forgets, and I shouldn't have let it get to me too much. I still think I shouldn't have to ask, but we clearly have different views when it comes to special occasions. He wants to live in the moment, and I want to preserve the moments. With that said, please know that I don't constantly have a camera in my hand. I just use my phone to snap pictures every so often. I put the phone down so I can enjoy my daughter's parties and family gatherings too. I just wanted him to do the same for me on occasion. Many have said to just take selfies of me and her, and I do. I take a lot of them. I would just like pictures others have taken as well, or even just pictures of me there where I'm not necessarily posing. Just pictures of me playing with her or hanging out at the party with family and friends. Many suggested hiring a photographer, but that's not something we can really afford. But hopefully with our talk, we don't even need to consider it. On to the update. My husband and I spoke last night. When I don't have to work the next day, I stay up late so I can spend some time with him, and I wanted us to finally talk. When he came home, we sat down. He says he still didn't fully understand what he did wrong, and I told him again how I wasn't in any pictures and how I've talked to him about this many times. I did say that I understand he was someone who more lives in the moment, but I just wanted to have proof that I was there too, that I was present at her parties, and for her to have memories of me there. Our daughter is only 5, and she won't remember her parties or holidays from when she was younger. As she gets older, I know she will know I was there, but I also want her to see me in her younger years as she grows up. There were some tears, and we apologized to each other. He promised again to do better, but I'm not gonna lie, I'll believe it when I see it, as he said that before. And I promised to be more understanding of his values. Going forward, I'll also ask family and friends to help take pictures so there are also more photos to save and not just mine. And yes, as many said, there will be times where I just flat out ask him to take pictures. I think from when I was previewing this, I had seen a comment where someone was like, don't wait until like the birthdays or special occasions, just like at random moments, ask him to take pictures, almost to kind of like train him to already be that type of person who will take pictures, you know? So she says, thank you again to everyone who commented on my last post. I appreciate the support and also the comments that made some great points about how each of us have different perspectives, and I need to be more understanding of his values and not just mine. Okay. Well, I'm glad she got something from the comments because she was starting to annoy me. I think that is one of my pet peeves when people don't speak up. Like, speak up! Say what you want. So here's another story. This one is a little bit older. This is from December 2022. Okay. Am I the a-hole for not inviting them to my Christmas party after they didn't invite me to their wedding? I throw a pretty big Christmas party every year, going on a decade now. A few years ago at one I threw, my friend Tara met my former coworker Tony, and they hit it off. They dated for a while, and 2 years later, once again at my Christmas party, she showed up with a ring on her finger, and they announced for the first time that they were engaged. I was super happy for them. They got married this spring. We didn't get invited. When I was sending around my party invitations this year, I didn't see any reason to invite them back if they didn't think I wasn't worthy of making their guest list. I have known them both for years, basically introduced them, and they literally announced their engagement at my home. It got back to me today that they're very upset with us for not inviting them this year, that my party is something they consider special, and they think I'm being petty. A couple friends mentioned it was a smaller wedding and they feel like I'm just punishing them. It wasn't though. There were probably 200 people there, and I knew at least 50 of them, and I was a little surprised at some of the names that made the cut over us. I didn't make a stink about it or anything, but I don't see why I should welcome them into my home again after being snubbed like that. My partner thinks I should just let it go and invite them back, but I don't see a reason why I should. Am I the a-hole? No, not the a-hole. First of all, it's your house. You can invite or uninvite or not invite anyone you want for whatever reason you choose. It's literally your house and your party. You're spending your time, money, energy, everything to throw it. If you don't want certain people to come, they don't have to come. But I feel like with them specifically, I would be feeling some type of a way too, because y'all met at one of these famous parties that I throw. You announced your engagement at one of these parties that I throw. And now when it's time for you to get married, I all of a sudden don't get an invite, but then you mad that you didn't get an invite? No, I'm basically the reason y'all even together. For me, if I was the couple, I would make sure that OP was able to come to my wedding, because especially if they're saying that the parties are so special for them because that's where they met and whatever, why wouldn't you make sure that that person had an invite to the wedding? So the comments say, not the a-hole. You can invite and not invite whoever you want without any reason. And if they want one, it is a smaller party this year. Wink. That's funny, because that was their reasoning for not inviting OP to the wedding. Someone said 100% this. If the event was so special to them, then they would associate it with you as well as a special friend and would have invited you. Another person responded, it also feels so tacky to steal OP's Christmas party to announce their engagement like that. If they asked OP beforehand, then it would be different, but just showing up with the rings on, I agree. I was a little surprised at that little tidbit, but they basically turned her Christmas party into an engagement party without telling her. Someone else said they probably wanted to make another announcement at OP's party. That's become their tradition. Probably they were expecting to do that for years to come. But the irony that it's so special to them, but they still didn't think to invite OP to the wedding. That doesn't make sense to me. Another person, not the a-hole. I don't think these friends care about you in the least. They just don't want to miss out on the social event in your circle. I'm going to bet that nobody else bothers to even hold a Christmas party. OP, if anyone gives you flack about this couple not being invited, I would suggest that you explain to them that you host this party because you enjoy spending time with your friends, but that it has occurred to you that some people might be continuing to maintain a relationship with you strictly for the annual party invite and not because they actually value your friendship. By their reaction, you might be able to trim your invitation list further in the future to make room for new friends. Think about it this way. If you were making up an invitation list for a first-time party, would all these people make the cut? Because that is essentially what the bride and groom did, and you didn't make their cut. FYI, I don't think what you did was petty either. I don't either. I would have did the same thing. Oh, you didn't invite me to the wedding? Oh, okay. Say less. So here is the update. Dang, y'all, I never expected my post would blow up the way it did. Since I got so many requests to check back in, here's the update. I stuck to my guns and did not invite them to my Christmas party. My partner stood by me when I told him I had made my decision and didn't bring it up again. Neither did our friends. Many of you guessed that they would try and crash our party. I got worried that would happen after all the responses, but thankfully it didn't. Probably 100 plus of you guessed she wanted to hijack the party to announce she was pregnant. If that's the case, they haven't told anyone as far as I know. They did, however, decide to throw their own party at the same time as ours. Several friends told us they were trying to convince them to come to theirs instead. I honestly hope they had some guests and had a great time. I wish them no ill will, but I think just about everyone we expected came to our party, so I doubt they poached any guests from us. They made enough of a last-minute fuss over this that the whole thing became the gossip of our party. Their doing, not mine. I chose to not engage in it, but the consensus I heard was everyone thought it was bizarre they chose not to invite us to their wedding and that them complaining about not being invited to our party was in poor taste. Most common question on Reddit was, why did we not get an invite to their wedding? From what I can tell from people at our party gossiping about this situation, they've said it was because we're a little bit older than they are. I think that's weird since my partner and I are both 35, they're 28 and 29, so it's not like we're very far apart. Why would that be a reason to not invite someone to a wedding? What? Tara used to hang out with us at least once a week when she was single, and I literally introduced them. The whole thing still seems strange to me, but I guess it is what it is. So yeah, that's how it all went down. Our party was a blast. We got to see so many friends, some of which we haven't really seen since before COVID. Everyone had a great time. People literally brought toddlers we hadn't got to meet yet because of how crazy the world has been over the last couple of years. It was a wonderful evening. I hope y'all had as good of a Christmas as we did. Okay, well, that's great. The fact that they tried to throw their own party. These people. Anyway, guys, that is the last main read of the video. Just a reminder to subscribe if you haven't already. It's free, and I would really appreciate if you joined our Little Enzyme family. We're trying to hit 10K before the end of September. Can we do it? Time will tell. So I will go to the last read. This is from the r/petty revenge. This will be our palate cleanser. You want to try to take 9 inches of our property? We will take 20 feet of yours. We have lived in our house for about 8 years in a rural neighborhood in Arizona. About a year ago, this dude from California bought the lot next to us and threw a fit about the stuff we had on the property line. We had put up a single fence pole vaguely where the property line was. We hadn't had any sort of land survey done. It was supposed to just be a temporary marker that became a permanent marker. Dude was absolutely livid that we had vehicles parked on his property. The very tip of one of our cars was touching the established boundary. He threatened to have our vehicle towed, so we simply had an actual land survey done, and it turns out the property line was a good 20 feet into his property. Homeboy should have just let sleeping dogs lie and not been an a-hole about a few inches. He should have kept his mouth shut. Dang, 20 feet? That's a lot. Imagine losing like 20 feet of like a backyard or something. That's a lot of space. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.